The earth signs. Hey, what's going on? This is your November 2019 reading, and I'm doing them all separately. I'm going to put timestamps in the comments below. Leave me comments if it resonates. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys subscribing and sharing my videos and helping the channel to grow. And I hope you have a wonderful November 2019. So, you know what? Hold on. That's not right. So, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So for Capricorn, please, for November 2019. Whoa. All right. What do we have here? Wow. So Capricorns, it looks like I just, you know, got in my head resurrection. It looks like big clarity and practicality in an issue, okay? We got the Death and the Hermit in reverse, but the Strength upright, the Four of Wands upright, the Nine of Wands upright, okay? The Five of Swords upright, and the Ten of Cups upright. Okay, so pardon my crazy lack of manicure, whatever, who cares? Anyway, it really looks like you achieve a huge level of clarity on, looks like potentially the end of something or some kind of past situation, or honestly something that seemed like it was going to end for a very, very long time, and actually find some semblance of balance and happiness and like a win, but it's like a win after a huge battle, or a win after some things that you're not proud of even, okay? But it's like there's this energy of perseverance, strength, and sort of finding your way back to what was right. I think even if things got dirty, there's big success, happiness, security, stability, new things on the home front, potentially even a new home, a move, very positive things in terms of a relationship or a new relationship. It looks like potentially you guys that are in relationships have really worked through something that was difficult. And you may be painfully close now to closing out an old chapter that's needed to close for a long time. Or like I said, maybe my very first thing that I heard was resurrection. So let's see what it says for the love life focus for Capricorn, please, for November 2019. Capricorn, November 2019. Cards are flying like crazy. Okay. Release your ex. Codependency. Okay. Excuse me. I got hair in my mouth. So, release your ex. Codependency in reverse. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. You're going to need to, you know, use your logical mind and discernment on something, because it's like there's a lot of avenues in your life right now that you're happy with. Like I feel like you probably have a lot of emotional security and emotional success, and success with your new projects, or success creatively, and your intellectual pursuits even. Like if you're in school, you're doing very well. Your health seems to be on the up and up, or it's pretty good, or it has improved from what it was before. But there is a situation in your life, whether this is a relationship, something lingering from a past relationship, or something lingering in a family situation, that you need to be cautious and careful with, and use, discernment, but don't wait too long to act. Okay. And it's going to take some strength and some stick-to-itiveness, and it seems like you might even, either somebody is being underhanded toward you, or you may need to sort of do some slightly underhanded things to get the information or get the clarity that you need, or to, I'm getting this vibe of like needing to talk to people, like for those of you that are dealing with an ex or like a divorce or something, it's like you're really happy and you're present, but you've still got this lingering stuff from before, and it's like you might have to talk to mutual friends between you and this ex or something to kind of like get some piece of information that's going to like make everything make sense and free you. So I hope that resonates for like one of you. It's probably for like one of you, but I do see overall success and happiness, and if this situation is a resurrection of a past situation, there's a lot of healing that's going to need to be done, because there's, like I said, some battle and underhanded shit that was done in the past, and lies. This vibe of like, somebody talking behind somebody else's back, with this Hermit in reverse with the Five of Swords here and the Nine of Wands. But ultimately, for some reason, this makes you happy. Third eye chakra. You're gonna need that. You need to use your intuition, guys. Need to. Okay, temptation, conflict, and defeat and sacrifice. So if there is a past energy that's trying to like tempt you back to them, no go. If you're resurrecting a family situation, I say a family situation in particular because of this. Okay, you need to be really cautious, because you've already been through the ringer with this crap, and I think that you know better. And you're going to need to use, intuition and discernment, and not be led astray by a bullshitter or just by, physical temptation kind of thing. Do not sacrifice your own needs for a situation, regardless of whatever the situation was, regardless of whatever it is that I've just said. Avoid doing that. I need to do this real quick. A Capricorn, please, for November 2019. What's their shadow card? Their shadow work message. Forgetting oneself. And we got conflict and defeat and sacrifice. So it's like, don't let some passions carry you away. Like passions and emotions are like the fantasy of a situation that you kind of build into something in your own mind. Let you ignore the facts, or ignore the red flags, or ignore the signs that are in front of you factually. What is actually really there. I think you have a dream of this happy home and this balanced, emotional life, and this really good strong foundation, and that you have the strength to overcome all obstacles here, but you don't, and this situation has fallen apart for a reason. For those of you that resonate with this particular message, this is for you, and you know who I'm talking about. Whoever it is that you have thought about here, that's who and what we're speaking of. But it is time to release the ex, and it's time to stop putting your happiness and your emotions in the hands of somebody else, whomever this is. And in the future, even, don't do this, with a new relationship that you get into. Or if you are in the midst of a new relationship, take the lessons from the bad thing that you just left and don't repeat it. Because if you are in a new relationship, it looks like there is something very damaging from the past, and I feel like, release your ex and codependency and reverse is like, let that go. Like, let's not repeat the same pattern and cause the same problems. Yeah, like you need to be more logical in the sorting of the emotional baggage that you have. Like very organized and methodical about going through and freeing yourself of these sort of shadow aspects that you haven't worked through. Because it's like selflessness and sacrifice and putting your head down and, just getting through it. This very burden, 10 of Wands, self-sacrificing martyr type energy is very, very present here in the shadow work of what needs to be fixed. Okay. And maybe you buy yourself through on this fantasy of how it's going to be in the future. Always looking for, when this is fixed and when this is better and when there's more money and tomorrow this and, in 2 years that, and we can take a vacation later, and overworking and over pushing, beating a dead horse for too long. I'll put it that way. Beating a dead horse for too long. There's that. Okay. Not allowing things to die and take their course so that new and better things can come in for you, Capricorn. And just kind of being blind to facts, like face facts, like always stay clear and present. Okay. Stay attuned to your ethereal self, you're mighty high and present. Like stay in touch with all levels of yourself so you can see reality for exactly what it is. Like don't blind yourself with the fantasy of what that you can work hard enough to build, because you cannot. You can build your life in a physical sense. You can save money. You can work hard. You can you can pay for the stuff. You can have all the things, okay? You can do that all you want, but you can't put in enough work on somebody else to make them what you want or make them do what you want. And I'm getting that energy here for some of you. So just common sense. And if you're wrapping up an issue, like if you are happily elsewhere with somebody else, okay, don't get mired in a really dirty exchange with this person from the past, because that's kind of symptomatic of codependency. Like this card coming out, that's letting yourself stoop to past levels that were damaging and upsetting and stuff. Stay in your higher, better vibe that I'm seeing here, that I know is real. Have your strength and stuff. Don't get into mudslinging. It might be tempting to get into mudslinging, okay? But that is not going to lead you in a positive direction, okay? Don't cut off your nose to spite your own face. Out of because in a certain interpretation of these cards, there's some bitterness that is here. But, going that route isn't necessarily going to help you right now. That's just keeping you in that old energy. It's let this wrap up. And I just got this into my mind that maybe some of you are kind of thinking that you're more over it than you are. Because if you still want to be petty and you still want to fight with somebody, that is keeping an energetic tie. And that is in a way, you're not completely over it entirely, right? Because if you still feel hateful and you still feel petty and all these different things, if you still have that much, that's still having emotion for somebody. What was I watching? I love it so much. They were talking about the opposite of love is apathy. Okay, not hate. If you still harbor hate for somebody, if you still have a seething rage about somebody in the back of your mind, or you're still hating on the way things went down or whatever, you still love that person. If you just kind of feel like, hey, whatever, don't wish any bad to them kind of thing, like it was a lesson, you know, they're a person in my past. If you have a much more neutral energy toward this person, I wish I could remember who that was to give credit. I watch all kinds of stuff, I don't even know, but it really struck me, and I was like, yeah, that's absolutely true. So if you still feel that way about somebody, like you ain't over it and you got some shadow work to do with that. Like, do not allow yourself to have this fantasy that like, oh, I'm totally over it and it's no big deal. Like, that's something to be worked on. Because if you're like, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Happy and in this new relationship and everything's super cutesy and it's like Insta official and all this and everything, and you're just fronting on all that, but you still have like the seething hate for your ex, you ain't over it. Still something to work on. You can want to be over it all you want, but you either are or you're not. That's all it is. All right, so Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Move on to Taurus now. Sorry guys, I gotta write this down since I'm doing it in this format. It just makes uploading like so much faster. Okay, Taurus. Taurus? Which deck? I don't know. Something's calling me to this deck. I'm going to use this for you guys. I've done everything with the Radiant Light Spirit, but I'm just going to go back to the Rider-Waite. So for Taurus, please. So leaving a juggling act behind and getting a little more honest with your emotions this month, guys. Yeah. Yeah. It's like y'all have been on a struggle bus, like super hard, and you're gonna stop with the juggling and get a little more honest that you haven't been in your best form. I take it. I zeroed in on the Five of Pentacles on the injured party. There's an injured person in that. But they are moving forward. It's like you haven't been in your best form, but you're moving forward. And the worst of the pain is over, and you do have hope for the future, okay? There can be a need to sort out and work on anxiety issues for you guys this month, Taurus. I kind of feel like that's a long-standing thing for a lot of you. Let's see what we got. I've got this energy of like making it through no matter what, and there's always remembering that there's always something to be thankful for, and that there always could be worse. For Taurus, please, from November 2019. What do they need to know the most in general? Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what we got here. What's on the bottom? Knight of Wands in reverse. You don't want that character in your life, if that's a person. And don't be that person to anybody else. Don't be in and out, indecisive, okay, back and forth. Keep your promises. If you make promises, keep them. This Knight of Wands in reverse character is not a good person, so let's not be like that. So, ton of anguish, ton of pain. I think even to the point that it's like fantasizing of better times, or sort of a mentally escapist, feeling stuck, feeling like every day is a battle, and really, really feeling like out of control, like struggling to maintain control, like you feel like you're about to just go off the deep end kind of, and it definitely feels like it's having to do with friendships and family life, your legacy, your home, your foundation, your work. you want to get to a happier place, and you want to get to a happier place with yourself. There's some level of like guilt here because we've got Nine of Pentacles came out on top of Nine of Swords. So these two presenting to me together tell me guilt. These are my guilt cards together. It's like blaming yourself for something, feeling not good enough for something, wanting to improve yourself because of something that you're judging yourself for or having anxiety about. You desperately want to move forward, but you feel really, really stuck because we've got like, 2 wands, 3 wands in reverse. Okay. Some communication too that needs to be said. Hasn't been easily forthcoming or hasn't been said yet, but it is going to come out soon. There's something that needs to be said, but it's going to restore balance and harmony. I mean, there is very hopeful cards in this reading. Please don't get me wrong. I'm naming off a lot of negative stuff, but there's definitely positive messages to be had in this reading, but I think it's like inner work. There's like a ton of internal conflict, inner work, struggling to maintain control, struggling to keep control, struggling to keep your balance, struggling to release emotional wounds and anxiety. So for Taurus, please, for November 2019. All right, we got it. All right. That was quick. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Okay, so if you're going through hard times, I think that a lot of self-love, self-healing, self-acceptance and focus and attention and self-care is going to help carry you through this. Give your relationship a chance. Okay. Work on your partnership. So there's some challenge going on in your lives for those of you that are in a relationship that is testing like the very fabric of your being, I think probably. It looks awful. It's like sleepless nights, pain, problems, conflicts. You even sort of and having moments of like wishing that you could just get away from all of it. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't even want to do this anymore. Like it's like throw out the whole life and start over type of vibe. Throw out the whole man, throw out the whole woman, whatever. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So you're going to have a time where you come back together if you are in a relationship, but you're going through a challenge. Life has those quite often. This seems like it's been a semi-ongoing thing for you guys. There's probably a variety of reasons, but you're going to end up in a better place. This card is upright. This card is upright. This is celebrations. This is happiness. This is reunion. Okay. The Two of Wands is upright. Just because you feel stuck and you feel confined by your present situation, if you're feeling beat down by everything that has happened, it doesn't mean that better times are not on the way. But what you need to do is be consistent. Because you're tougher than you think, or whoever you're involved with needs to be consistent too. Or you both need to work on consistency, or everybody involved needs to work on being more consistent. But it's something like that. So what's the shadow work for Tauruses, please? For November 2019, what do they need to focus on in shadow work? I felt so stuck. That's it. Okay. Hiding your true self. Okay. So this is a need for acknowledgement. So shadow work wise, this is like acknowledging the kind of gritty parts of yourself that you may not want to admit are there. Like, do you not want to, are you regretful of the choices that led you to the life experience that you're having now? And I mean, up to and including marriage, parenting, all that stuff. Like, do you regret some things in reality? Are you denying parts of yourself? Like, do you deny that you like to party and have a good time and you're trying to be Donna Reed and that's not actually you, The more denial there is, the more imbalance it creates. The more acknowledgement and acceptance there is, the more wholeness and balance that you can have. Are you struggling with mental health issues and refusing to acknowledge it? Are you struggling with your sexuality and refusing to acknowledge it? Are you bored to death with your life and you're refusing to acknowledge that fact and just going, okay, this is fine. Everything's on fire and, I'm miserable, but this is fine. Like, you need to not do that. So, or do you hate your career and you're just, muddling through emotional withdrawal, sacrifice, patience and planning and disruption. So, temporary disruption, patience and planning. Okay. So, tomorrow is going to be better. The future does look bright. What is it going to take from you? It's going to take acknowledgement. It's going to take patience. Okay? It's going to take self-love. You need to love yourself more so that you can experience a more positive life experience coming in for you. You need to acknowledge some emotions that you are running from, but to yourself. An emotional withdrawal can be interpreted in a couple of ways. Sacrifice being present this is like a temporary disruption, temporary sacrifice. You need to be patient, okay? You can handle this, but you do need to, you're having to do a lot, okay? Or you're working through a lot, and self-care is absolutely, definitely in order, and you might need to withdraw a little bit emotionally. Like, you can't give too much without withdrawing a little bit, and you also can't sort out your own issues if you're too emotionally involved in others. Like, maybe you need to withdraw into yourself a little bit. Maybe you need some therapy time, counseling time. There's a variety of things that could mean to you, and I think that you know the answer if you listen inside yourself. As I'm saying this, there's things that come across your mind, and that is the answer. But self-care is super imperative, but also not masking what you really want anymore, because it's making you act out in a lot of ways that are creating issues. That's what I see. Can't make this stuff up. It's here in the cards. So for those of you that are in a relationship, this is a rough patch. You need to give it time. You need to communicate honestly. You're going to come back to a good place with each other. If this is family, involving a relationship and kids and all that stuff in your immediate family, those that you live with, rough spot. Okay. Everybody's going to get through it and it be better for it. You are not losing your wrap in reality, and you're not coming off your rocker and all that. You may think that you are, and you may think that you're stuck, and you may think that this is forever, but it's not. You need to be very honest with yourself and others about how you feel, though. Everyone involved needs to. There is a truth that's going to be coming out soon. There are good times ahead. Please do not ever forget it, okay? Might be a little tough this month, but I do see celebration and good times though too, and this might be the energy of, Thanksgiving family get together kind of thing, or you plan some getaways or get together with friends or something like that. There is good energy amidst this. It's just, it's like a test. You gotta have, patience and planning and stuff. I think now is a fantastic time for you to really solidify your vision for what you want 2020 to be like. Like, really, really put in time write it down. Write it down and then work on visualizing it. Like, do that a few times before 2020 gets here. And especially for like your Taurus full moon is coming up, you guys. Fantastic time to set your intentions and energies then and raise your vibration, because it's like, it looks like everything here has been enough of a struggle. You've been on the struggle bus for a while, but like everything is about to take a turn. Seems like the worst is over. I'll put it like that. And it's a fantastic time for you to put your energy into, what do you want that better to look like? What do you want that better you to look like? Because it looks like this is kind of breaking you down so that you can build yourself better, because you're not going to do it on your own, because you're going to work for everybody else. And it's like, unless everything tests you to your core, you're not going to really work on you until everything just like shoves you into that and you have to do it. So have a great month, Taurus. You've got stuff to work on. Finances don't look like they're really an issue. Like, I didn't really see finances in that reading. There's a lot of like love life concerns and just sort of existential crisis and internal work that needs to be done. Family concerns, but also some like really bright spots and some good times and some great things on the way in the future. So just eyes on the prize, visualize what you want, keep your vibration high, give yourself time and attention. Super important. And keep moving forward. Be patient. Things are getting better. So moving on to Virgo. Shuffle these. What's Virgo's shadow for this month? What does Virgo's shadow work for this month? Shut the front door. So this just came out for Taurus Virgos. That's why I was like, shut the front door. So hiding your true self is your shadow work that you have to focus on. So I think that in my viewership, there may be some Tauruses and Virgos intertwined. You could be friends. It could be family relationship. It could be anything. It could be work relationship. But I think that you will each have some messages that will resonate in each other's readings. So I don't know if the Tauruses are going to end up seeing this, but Virgos, I suggest that you watch the Taurus reading and vice versa. Okay, so for Virgo, 2019, please. November 2019 for Virgo. All areas of their life, please. Bring the most important messages and clarity forward for Virgo for November 2019, please. I got this energy of you guys just like putting your head down and getting it done, like pushing through, like nose to the grindstone, emotionless, checked out. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're trying to push things ahead before it's like cooked. Like you pulled the brownies out before they are done. So, yeah, Virgo, November 2019. There's a need to count your blessings, Virgos. I just saw, the Empress upright in there. Whoa, cards flying out. I said that, and the cards are just like, whoa. Anything else? I am not taking all of those. Newsflash. Okay. Oh my god. There is so much similarity between this and the Taurus reading. It's kind of nuts. So you want to move forward with something. You are counting on it. It can't get here fast enough. You're trying to push it into existence. You are willing it so. Yes. Need to count your blessings. need to stop hermiting and taking... It's escapist, it's avoidant, it's staying away, it's staying blinded, it's lack of clarity, it is trying to shove a situation forward. My crying over spilled milk card is here, that like you don't see the blessings that you still have because you're so upset over this other thing. You're so mired in just the devastation of this thing that you've hyper focused on. It's blindfolding yourself, sort of. Like, you think that you don't know the way forward. There's something about a situation that you're not seeing. And I really, really think it's the need to slow down and count your blessings, but also to have a forward-driving, non-avoidant energy and be very direct about how it is that you feel. I don't think that it's like you've been hiding from a truth or hiding from information that needs to be conveyed. Let's get the Romance Angel cards for Virgo, please, for November 2019. Whoa. Yeah, it's like chaotic mind, but escapism, hiding, hermiting, bitterness, getting all... I have all these feelings arising, but it's like you are going to need to kind of pull your head out of your ass and stop hiding from this and stop running from this and communicate what it is that you need to say so that you can regain the balance that you're wanting to just shove forward. Like, you're desperately trying to like push and make this happen. Like, everything's fine. Like, I don't know, right now I get this energy of like the flight attendant and like major turbulence, you know, that is terrified themselves, but they're assuring everybody that everything is fine. There's not a problem here. Moving forward. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So that's like the major energy of your love life, and your shadow work is that you need to be more honest about how you really feel about things. Okay? There is this stagnancy of mind, of action, of life. There's this wishing that things were different than they were. It's kind of, you know, like I said, this hermit escapist attitude. It's wanting to just like by sheer power of force or will make things different than they are and just magically turn everything around like a Disney movie. All of a sudden, like, everything is fine. And there's the happy ending, and not wanting to put in the work for it. And putting the work in it is an emotional juggernaut. Like, it's a big process. And you're going to have brave, fiery, forward-moving energy to get this happy ending and this stability and this celebration and stuff that you so desperately want to make happen. And stop exploring that there is any other option. There's not. Virgos, you're going to need to be honest. You're going to need to be present. You're going to need to be forward looking and forward moving, but not in a forceful way. This is loving it into existence, sort of. Whatever it is that's your vision, you need to be thankful, appreciative, and it's like in the negative sense, I'm getting this energy that you guys are too bitter and you're doing too much and like sit the fuck down. Like, get positive, and this bus has got to like turn around all the way, turn it around. That's the best way I can describe it, because it's like negative Nancy is driving the train and she's like, beep beep motherfuckers, next stop, Anxietyville. It's not helping anybody, because in between your hermiting or whatever, I think you're coming and like lashing out and like creating more destruction and like more existential questions in your mind of like, you know, questioning your existence and everybody in your life. And like, it's a lot. Like, I don't even know how to describe this energy that I'm feeling, but there's a need for less solitude, more gratitude, count your blessings, see what is still there that's good. Because there's just so much focus on negative things that you aren't seeing all the amazing things that you still have that other people are still hoping to be blessed with. Okay. I don't think this group is meant to be here. Let me do this again. Trust me, guys, if they're meant to come out, they will. I've had the exact same, like, huge file come out when I was like, no, that's not right. Exactly. Oh my God, it's like a whole nother one. Whole nother one. Lord have mercy. Okay. So for spiritual guidance and like overall, memories of love and accelerated motion. So accelerated motion coming out, accompanying universe. Suffering and silence. Coming out with hiding your true self. Okay. There's a lot of like hermity kind of energy. There's a lot of not speaking your like real truth and choose wisely. So I think that the heavy energy that you've been living in is going to begin to potentially make you do things frivolously or without enough thought that you need to be careful about. You're in a challenging time in your life, obviously. I don't think that you're really wanting or, well, needing for anything. You may be wanting for the situation to be different, but your needs are met. There is a need to get in touch with yourself and your honest emotions and to communicate them to others in a positive way. And when I say in a positive way, I'm not saying you have to turn everything into like hearts and flowers, but what I am saying is it needs to be actually honest and productive. There needs to be productive conversations where you really express yourself in truth, in full. Okay? No more suffering in silence, no more escapist behavior, no more like hermiting away, no more living in like a negative like pity party or like anxiety state, like just sitting in your anxiety soup and just basting yourself, you know. It's not going to help anything. Accelerated motion is a fantastic card to get along with universe. There's a lesson in this. There's a blessing in this. There is healing in this situation. There is a lot of forward movement that can be had in your life after you get over the speed bump. And don't make a mountain out of the molehill that is this issue. It seems huge right now. And it seems like you can't see past it, but it's all about perspective. Maybe you can't see past it, this little molehill, because you're laying on the ground and your eye is like completely blocked with it. If you'll just stand up and stretch, you can see that there's so much more ahead and that all is not lost and that's not, 100% negative. And you need to remember where your heart is, who you love, and what is the most important, and get back to basics and make a positive plan and move forward. And like I said, love it into the way that you want to push things into being. Love it into existence gently. And be present. I hope that resonated for you guys. I appreciate you being here so much. I'm going to end it there. Wow, that was like an emotional one. Earth signs got heavy, but I know you guys can overcome this. There's a lot of healing to be had here, though, and that's like a really positive thing. That's fantastic to go ahead and work through, because once you have, the sky's the limit on how much positive can come in. So, have a fantastic November, guys. Bye.